Alrighty then, we are back. Right before we left off, alright, I'm gonna need you off the map, little man. He is what created the ruins. So, you actually accepted that rather easily. You guys were just, watching two undead soldiers make their way in your direction slowly.
Oh.
He's got allergies.
Poor buddy. Oh.
I think it's the incense that does it.
Oh. Poor bud.
Better? Alright. So yeah, there are two undead soldiers making their way to you guys right now. You have about 3/4 cover. It doesn't appear that they have spotted you yet, but they are getting closer. Is there anything you guys want to do before they make their way under that collapsible area?
Yeah. I'm gonna save Rattle being able to take him out with the rifle as the last option, but I think I'm gonna let Samira play. I'm gonna fly her over and pretty much carpet missile him. Pretty much.
You're gonna cast magic missile through her. Okay. What's her fly speed? 30?
25.
25. How close are you getting her to them before you magic missile, or are you gonna have her use it just over where you are?
If she can't get to him, just as close as she can get, release one to each of them, and then one to the structure.
All right.
Swoop it, I'm gonna send it around so that it comes pushing it towards the rubble towards them. You know what I mean?
All right, Samira would be able to get about here. Okay. So Samira, coasting along the outer edge of the ruin, sort of, locks on, and just her little paws start to shine, and then release 3 bluish purple bolts of magical energy. One slams into both of the undead soldiers, and then the other one hits stone, precariously balancing the stone roof as they both step forward. Did you roll damage?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm doing it now. So the first one is 2. That's with the +1 that it comes with.
Okay.
5 and 2. So all that together.
2, 5, 2.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I guess whatever the +1 wand. I guess the +1 wand affects each one.
Yeah.
So they all go up by 1 as well. That 1 was just the one that comes with the spell itself.
Oh, okay. So it's 3, 6, 3. Okay. So. Any sec.
Were you aiming at them or the structure?
A little bit of all. Yeah, but I had 3 to play with, so.
The structure collapses as soon as the beam or bolt of magical energy hits the side of it. One of the large stone slabs just gets slid out of place, and then the weight that's being bore onto it just, sort of shunts it out of its section, and it begins to collapse directly downward. Let's see here. Does anybody have an extra D8? I thought I had another one, but I don't. Ah, there it is. Sorry. All right. So that one there in this area, all of that is now difficult terrain, and he is buried underneath the rubble. You no longer have visual on that one. This one it's got rubble like collapsed onto its legs. Its legs are broken, so it's just sort of laying there on the ground. It has not had the chance to make any noise yet other than the collapsing rubble. You guys have a round to do whatever you like. I'd say there's about enough time for 2 people to use their turns if you guys are going to try and prevent him from yelling. So roll initiative and we'll see who gets to do what.
Okay.
14.
15.
14, 15, 18. Okay, so it would be you two. What are you guys doing?
Can I just like run up on him and like stomp his head?
Are you trying to move quietly? Or are you just going to run up there and stomp his head?
I mean, if it's me or Rattle, you point at me or Rattle or me?
I'm. You have a very short period of time between when the rubble collapsed to get to this dude. You guys can take your turns in tandem, and then we will run through actual initiative depending on what happens.
Okay. I'm just gonna run and stomp his head. I'm gonna try to.
Okay. Use your movement and then roll to hit with advantage. So that was your bonus to click your boots of haste. All right. Roll to hit. You have advantage, but you still have to hit.
Plus.
You roll twice and take the higher number.
Okay. That's 17.
17, that hits. Roll damage.
What's a stomp?
1d4 plus your strength. Three. Okay. You run up and just freaking kick the shit out of its head. It sort of snaps over to the side and then turns, looks at you with these glowing eyeballs that are sort of, sunken in their sockets, opens its mouth and
Should have aimed for the teeth.
You guys hear several other groans and growls sounding similar, erupting throughout the ruins. Rattle, what are you doing?
So he's already alerted the other ones?
I mean, were you going to try and do that in tandem? Because she sort of took over and said what she was going to do, but you didn't speak up, so...
Yeah, just now realized that I have silence.
Okay, so while she's kicking it in the head, you want to cast silence on it? Okay. I'm not judging. This is, it's a good plan.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do.
I don't know. I feel like they're already alerted.
Well, I did that, but that was sort of me just being a jackass, not letting you have a turn. So that's my bad, personally.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to cast silence.
And is that a saving throw?
No.
It just creates a zone of silence, if I'm not mistaken, correct? A dome, right?
Yeah, it's a 20-foot sphere, and it lasts 10 minutes. It says no sound can be created within or pass through a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within range.
Is it a visible sphere?
Not to my knowledge, but I might be wrong. I know that like
It
the
doesn't
resilient
say
sphere,
anything about.
you can see it.
Silence on the eyes.
The the fucking ball of force, you can see it, but I don't know if silence is actually corporeal or if it's just a area.
Just a magical effect in that area. I just want to be sure because there are other aspects to this, but I'd say that you do that, and after Rakshata runs in there,
But also, any creature or object entirely inside the sphere is immune to thunder damage, but all creatures are deafened while entirely inside it.
okay.
So this would affect Rakshata as well.
So you
That-
can't.
I was just gonna say that's really interesting. I didn't know that about the silence spell. I didn't know that
Being
thunder.
deafened within it.
Well, no, I knew that. I didn't know that thunder damage was based solely on your ears. Like I didn't.
Yeah, I thought that was sort of like a not quite force damage,
But
but
similar.
yeah.
I thought so too. That's very interesting though to know that that's how that works. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a super good use of the spell. So since we're already doing things retroactively because I messed up, I'll own that. We'll say that in tandem as Mondo's magic missile hits the structure holding up the roof, Rattle steps forward and casts silence on that area. So you guys just watch this, pretty tall tower of rubble just collapse onto these two soldiers without making a single sound whatsoever. Rakshata dashes into the area and just begins kicking the head of the surviving monster stuck under the rubble with broken legs. With that, I guess we're gonna roll initiative.
Okay, reroll
Just
initiative?
That,
Yep,
just with the one
reroll
that's-
initiative.
Oh!
13.
10.
Okay. You got a 10 and
A 13.
13, 3.
Does me rolling a natural 1 on initiative change anything?
Not really. I mean, you might trip or something, but other than going at the very end of initiative order, it doesn't have super high consequences.
But that also has the reverse effect of, unfortunately, fucking a natural 20 on initiative doesn't do much for you either.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, you can have a natural 20 on initiative and still not go first.
Yeah.
Because some people just get ridiculous bonuses to their initiative.
The alert feat gives you a plus 10. So
I thought it was plus 5.
it's plus 10.
Oh my god. Anywho, top of the round is going to be something you can't see.
Nice, that's always awesome.
Wait, so it's not just the one that's pinned? Damn it.
There are other people in this village?
All this other casting of silence has still alerted them.
No. There's just a silent shifting of rubble about, 5 feet away from your feet.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to use its entire turn to try and get the rubble off of it. And it manages to uncover its torso. This one sort of struggles its way up. And that's going to be its turn. Next up in initiative would be Mondo.
Alright. So, yeah. So they're coming up out of the ground at this point, and they're still this area of silence?
There is the area of silence. There's also the one that Rockshot is kicking. You can't quite see it. You can just barely see the head of the one that had just pushed its way out of the rubble.
Would it be like a bonus action to like look around to see if we're being approached by something else?
No, you can just roll a quick perception and see if you can see anything else.
17.
17. Right now, nothing else in the area appears to be moving towards you guys. You can see a couple things that are a little concerning. You notice that this area across from you guys seems to be the entryway deeper into the mountains. It is guarded by a skeletal minotaur and then something else standing beside it that has a similar looking horn. And
does it appear as if they've noticed us?
No. They're just standing guard like good boys. They can't see anything that's going on over there.
I'm noticing that they're going to be a problem anyway. I got a little bit of an idea, a reverse of something I've tried before. So I'm gonna hold my fingers up to my neck, do a wind wall around us.
Around you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How tall is the wind wall you're making?
Also, how wide? Because I'm over here.
It's 15 feet high, 1 foot thick, and it's 50 feet in total. So I think I can.
Yeah, you can totally encompass everybody that's there right now. Make sure.
Yeah.
Rattle, did you move at all whenever you cast silence, or did you just stay put? Okay.
So
All right.
all of them,
Yeah. So.
except for
Can I
Logan.
change while I have focus on it? Can I while I'm still focusing on the spell in a later round? Can I change its shape?
I would allow you to. Yeah.
For right, I guess I'll use it to then make a weird shape to make sure that I'm hitting the skeletons too. Then, if that's possible.
Wait, are you aiming it towards the dudes over here?
No, I'm doing it to I guess draw things that are gonna try to fight us eventually anyway. From what I'm seeing.
To you.
Yeah, I guess so. They have to be hit by the wind wall if they want to investigate what's in it.
Okay, so are you using it as like a way to completely encompass you guys, or just like cover your flanks?
What I'm pretty much trying to do is get a circle for us, but also still
Hitting these guys?
Yes,
So
Okay.
it'd be like,
but not hitting an ally.
Yeah.
With the 50 feet.
I just need a marker to mark exactly where the center of it is. Since you're not a
Yeah, I can't mold or shape.
yeah, I was
stuff
about to say,
Iggy.
since you're not an evocation wizard, you can't cause creatures that you're allied with to succeed on saving throws
Right.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it would still have the damaging effect to other creatures, but
Yeah.
it goes 50 feet out, right?
Yeah.
That'd be 5, 10, 15,
I'll see
20,
ya.
25, 30, 35, 40, 50. Yeah, it just barely makes it. Make it a weird oblong wind wall. But you would want it to pass through them. Okay.
So Rockshot doesn't get hit by it, or she does.
She would because she's on top of it. It depends on if you want the one that's underneath the rubble to be hit by it, or the one that Rockshot is already kind of working
I
on.
don't want Rockshot to be
Okay.
hit by the wind wall,
All right.
even if that unfortunately puts her on the outside of it.
It'll be
It
alright.
does.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, she's handled herself and worse.
I'm just gonna stay silent. Silently bashing this thing's head in.
Oh, righty. And you said that silence lasts for 10 minutes. So I also have to mark exactly where silence is.
And you don't have to concentrate on it?
Grab the whole thing. There you go.
Would it specifically say?
It would say if it's concentration. All right, you have a bonus action.
There's one. So there's one skeleton now in the wind wall with us, right?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and fucking. Yeah.
I thought I had more coins to mark more stuff.
Grab the coin pouch in my purse. Front pocket.
You're gonna run up and strike it?
Yeah.
Alrighty, roll to hit.
6, 9.
9.
And they're no longer prone anymore, so I don't get advantage, right? They've made it all the way to standing.
The one in the rubble that's in the wind wall with you guys, is not standing. It's still like half buried, so you would get advantage.
Oh shit! Come on. Okay, that's worse. No, that's an 8. That's just not gonna. A very resilient skeleton. He wants to live.
All right. Yeah, unfortunately, that
Undead.
it's like flailing its arms about, which are still broken, and it manages to like fling its arm up, and then its like dislocated elbow is gonna like whip around like a windmill, and the bracer is just gonna knock your sword away. It looks very unsightly and gross, but it was effective in blocking the strike. Anything else you want to do with your movement?
No, because now that I'm up on it, if I moved, it would try to make a sad strike at me.
Okay. Next up is going to be Rakshata.
Okay. I'm still deaf. So, I'm just gonna try and keep. Is this one fully out now? The one that I was stomping on.
No, its legs are broken. Like it can't move its legs out from underneath the rubble there. Like it
Okay, I didn't know.
it would have to be crawling with its arms.
Oh well,
It
I'm
can
just
no
gonna.
longer
I'm gonna
be not
stomp.
prone.
Can I
Yeah.
use my, okay, I'm gonna use my action to stomp on the insides of his arms so he can't crawl away. Yeah,
God.
the inside of his elbows.
Oh!
Alright, make an aimed attack. You would have advantage because it's prone, but an aimed attack would be at disadvantage, so it's a straight roll. 7.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you sort of kick the back of its elbow, and it doesn't seem to snap the way you want it to, though.
Okay.
You still got a bonus.
I want to kill it. God, it's just why is it being so resilient?
They want to live?
Again.
Yes. I'm just gonna try and stomp its head again.
Rolled it.
7 again.
This is at advantage because you
Oh.
didn't
Oh.
make an aimed attack.
Is that proficient? No, I'm not.
You're not proficient in stomping things' heads out. Not yet,
You gotta take
anyway.
Tavern Brawler for that.
Well, I got 14.
Fortunately, you go to stomp its head against the rubble, and its steel helm just sort of bounces off.
God.
Man.
What are you made of, you evil fiend? Oh yeah, I'm mouthed that.
Yeah. All right. Anything with your movement?
I mean, I'm in the
Wait,
wind
you
wall.
were
I'm outside
still
the wind
you were still hasted, right?
Yeah.
So you get an extra action.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's right. I keep
You
forgetting
need to
about
keep
that.
these things in mind. You need to make a note whenever you use haste and mark whether or not it's active.
Okay.
It's what, 6 turns? It's
Yeah.
active?
Haste. Okay. A whole action?
Yeah.
Okay. I can cast a spell in an action, right?
You sure can.
Okay, Dude! You know what? I'm just gonna freaking. Why do I have that one even prepared? Okay.
Come on. Rattle, you're on
I'm gonna-
deck, so think about what you want to be doing on your turn.
I'm brandishing that huge modded great axe that I got, and I'm gonna
Okay.
split this thing from here to here. On its chest, or try to.
Roll to hit.
15.
15. You go to swing your axe down, and
Oh
it's
wait, that's great weapon fighting, so I get a proficiency bonus, right?
Yeah, you're proficient in those, I believe.
Ha! So that's 18.
18. That changes things.
Yeah.
You bring your great axe down, and the spikes stick straight through this chainmail armor, breaking several links of chains on it, and then it just opens up, and you slash directly into the abdomen. Roll damage.
Okay, so that was. Oh, it was plus 5 to hit, so that was actually 21. 2d6 plus 1. Okay. That is 10 total damage.
All right. That is going to end your turn, unless you want to move.
No, because I'm being advantageous with
The one.
silence.
Oh, okay. All right. You're up.
Alright. I am going to 10, 15, 20, 30. I'm sorry,
Speaking of, glad I rolled him last.
And Mondo might have already spotted all of the enemies, but I'm going to use it anyway because it's cool. I'm going to use Eyes of the Grave, and as an action, you know the location of any undead within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover and that isn't protected by divination magic until the end of your next turn.
Hey, yo.
That is metal as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eyes of the Grave?
Yeah.
It's fucking sick. Okay, so you moved here.
And luckily, Wind Wall doesn't stop spells, it only stops projectiles.
So yeah, and it doesn't provide cover either.
No, I mean, it's like a little, it's stirred up a little bit, but
Yeah.
you still...
I mean, it's hella fast wind.
Yeah.
That's why it ripped old buddy's arm off and
Yeah.
Sharn. You actually uncover the locations of the rest of the undead in this ruins area. You can't. All you can see of the one that's giving you the worst feeling right now is just a little, like, sort of bit of flesh that's bobbing up and down slowly and in the same place. It is over here. You can only see like this little edge of it. And then there is... God, where's another penny? Okay. Then there are 2 more here. And that's all of them. Does the spell give you any special information about the undead that you uncover? No. Okay. What do you want to do with your bonus?
Oh, I guess for my bonus, I'm going to change to my scythe.
Okay.
say? Oh wait, no, I wrote it as a bonus action, and I'm going to
Unscrew it and have dual wield. Okay. Right on. Okay, so you guys see Rattle just run up to the edge of this wind wall, lower his head for a moment, and then there's this like sort of eerie energy that starts to form around him, and then it hits the ground and disperses, sort of rippling over the ground, shadow-like tendrils, and they sort of hang and linger around different spots in the area that you weren't paying as much attention to. You're all now aware of the locations of the undead in these ruins.
It's kind of like a gravish fairy fire in a way.
Yeah, sort of, kind of.
Nice. Yeah, let's kick ass.
Next up is going to be Berg. Berg is just going to go up through here. 30. And Berg's going to try and throw a dagger at the one that Rockshot has been stomping on. I believe that hits, but I need to check.
Wait, so the one outside the wind wall?
Yeah. It'd be a disadvantage because of the wind wall.
I think that's the strong wind keeps fog, smaller flying objects, loose lightweight materials. Oh, arrows, bolts, and other ordinary projectiles launched at targets will be deflected upwards and automatically miss.
Okay, so not knowing this about the wind wall, Berg just runs up, throws a dagger real quick, hits the very tip of the wind wall, just gets launched upward, and he's like, trips backwards, falls on his ass, dagger right between his legs.
Oh, shit.
Berg's gonna sit there in shock, stand up, and then that's gonna be his turn. At the end of Berg's turn, it would go to the top of the round. However, we are going to cut over to Vigo. Vigo, you are in your cell. You heard footsteps coming in your direction. You're just sort of standing there. What are you doing while you hear these footsteps? Are you going to try and get out, or are you going to pretend that, you're still...
You said the hallway and the cell were dark, right?
They are fairly dark. They're somewhat lit by lantern light.
Can I hide in a shadow?
In the cell?
Yes.
You can attempt to roll stealth.
Please, I beg of you. Be nice to me. Okay, that's not that nice, but it's fine. 14.
14, you sort of go over to one of the darker corners, and you get sort of like hunched over your manacles so they're not reflecting any light. Your robes are fairly dark from being, dirty and dingy from your travels as well as being hauled here. You feel like you're about as well hidden as you can be in this situation. The footfalls become louder and louder, and then the closer they get, the more it sounds like stone hitting stone than actual footsteps. Just like two rocks slamming against each other every time. And, then once it gets in front of your cell, do you look over at it, or are you trying to still remain hidden as you can?
Yeah.
You gonna look over?
No, I'm just going to hide there.
You hear a grinding steel on steel sound, like bending and creaking and snapping. It's just like dust sort of falls down from the ceiling and begins to settle on top of your robes and the floor around you. More stone on stone footfalls as it walks into your cell, standing about 7-8 feet from where you are. Then you just hear boom, boom, boom. This thing is just beating into the wall behind your cell It appears distracted at the moment.
I am fucking hauling ass out of that cell.
Roll athletics.
Please. Get me out of here. I don't want to fight things. Where is it? God bless. 16. No. 17.
17. Going from your sort of hunched over, like, pseudo-fetal position with your manacles, you manage to scoop up the chains in the steel bars all at once, get into a sprinter's pose, and then just make a bolt straight for the now massive gaping hole in where your cell bars used to be. Do you turn back at all as you're hoofing it out of the cell to look at what? No, you're just...
I'm going.
Alright, so you bolt out of there, making really good time. You're just running through this winding tunnel of a multitude of cells. It's sort of hilly and smooth for an area this far underground. You're not really sure where exactly you're at, as you were unconscious when you were brought here. But you're making your way through these tunnels, and you start to see many of the cell doors become sort of regular wooden doors or iron gates. And then you can see just a bit of natural light peeking in from around the corner of an area ahead. You're going straight for the natural light? Okay. So the sound of your chains sort of echoing down this corridor, you run full sprint as fast as you can towards this natural light. You round the corner, and it's like a slow dirt ramp up into an opening leading into just natural light. And you walk up, getting behind a smaller sized boulder, just sort of peeking over. You see two skeletal minotaurs about 25 feet away from where you're currently at, with their backs to you, facing a set of ruins overlooking the Talenta Plains off in the distance. Yeah. Vigo's here. That'll work. Alright. I'm going to say that is going to wrap up your turn. That's okay. After that, I'm going to roll initiative for these guys as they see the wind wall. Okay, they are... Sorry, guys. No, their backs are to you.
No, not the Minotaurs. Everyone else.
Them, I mean, yeah, some of them would be able to see you. Mondo's not really looking in your direction. Berg would be able to see you out of his periphery, and Rattle would be able to see you. Alright. Top of the round would be this skeleton dude right there. He's just gonna start swinging his only good arm with the sword at Mondo's ankles. This is a 16 hit.
It sure would if I didn't swap it out with an 8.
Nice. Nice. Great use of the important rolls. So yeah, he swings his sword out at your legs. Misses the first time. 17 to hit.
Is he rolling at disadvantage, or is he still prone?
No, he gets multiple attacks. He is still prone.
Right.
Oh, but you're right. It would be at disadvantage because he is prone. Yeah, that's not gonna hit. So, yeah, that's gonna be his turn. He can't really move. I'm gonna say he attempts to crawl next to this guy here.
Would that prone an attack of opportunity?
It would. He's like slowly
That's so
trying to
sad.
crawl away from you with
Nice. 12 plus 6, 18.
18. Yeah, that'll hit. Roll damage.
2d4. 3 and a 3, 6.
6. Okie dokie. I mean, yeah, you strike out at him with your sword. He's trying to sort of crawl away, and you just stab your sword into its broken legs, trying to pin him to the ground multiple times. It's not making any noise, but it looks brutal as fuck from where you're standing, Rakshata. Next up is gonna be the guy that Rakshata is sort of stomping on religiously and stuck into with an axe. He is also going to try and hit your ankles unsuccessfully for the first strike. Successfully for the second strike. I mean, he sees what's happening to his buddy right beside him that tried to get away, so he's just sitting there. It's gonna be his turn. Mondo. Rakshata, you're on deck, so keep in mind what you want to do. And if you would, roll initiative for me, Bailey.
Okay, but the skeleton like made it 5 feet away?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wouldn't get an attack of opportunity if I walked back into non-silence. Like, is it far enough away? Like, will it? That's what
If you walk away from it, it won't get an attack of opportunity on you. I didn't realize that's what you were asking.
Yeah, so I'm going to walk out of the silence because those ears are ringing a little bit.
All right.
Elven tinnitus is
In which direction?
just to see if the little buttitars saw me. Little buddies over there.
I think you forgot about Samira's turn last round.
Samira takes her turn on Mondo's turn. If he commands Samira to do something, she'll do something. Other than that, she takes the dodge action.
Yeah. And I guess, once I'm out of the silence, does it seem like they're making their way or have noticed the wind wall?
They do appear to have noticed the wind wall. They're sort of readying their axes, making like low sounds as their bones are sort of clattering together.
I'm going to raise the shotgun up and look at my shoulder and just shake my head. Aim down the barrel. Oh, wait, no, I can't. I would know that. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, because of identifying the range. Yeah.
Well, no, not just the range, but the fact that it wouldn't go through the wind wall because it's non-magical. It's just
yeah, it is your effect, so you would.
Fuck it. Oh God, what would a wizard do? Fireball.
Centered between them.
Of course.
Between who?
Fucking token wizards.
Alright, so I guess they make decks around you.
Big sturdy saving throws. Yeah, so that's gonna be a 7 and a 10. They both fail. Roll damage.
Those two down there?
These two
Alright,
right here.
so that's 8d6 plus 1.
Okay, wait, hold on. We do it all at once. You gotta hear the clickety clack.
Yeah, it's always fun hearing the fireball hit. So I have 5 now. 6,
2 more.
7,
How many?
8d6.
Yep.
Here you go. I was hiding from you.
Yeah. Oh God, I hope so. There is actually, when you when Iggy gets to level 18,
I get an extra D6. Oh wait.
No. You can. There's an ability where you can drain your magical energy to force something to be maximum damage. I'm pretty sure that's.
Holy hell.
Okay. Let's see. 8, 11, 12, 14, 8. Wait, yeah, 14 plus 6, 20, 22, 25, 26 with the plus 1, 26 fire damage.
All right. So as Mondo steps out of this area of silence, do you say anything as you launch it?
I vote you scream.
Yeah. Just, no. I'm more focused on just hoping that experimenting with the wind wall, hoping it makes its way through.
Okay. So Mondo steps out of the area of silence, points his wand forward. There's a small little orange globe at the tip of his wand, which then expands into this massive fireball. The heat coming off of it as it's at the tip of his wand sort of alters the shape of the wind wall, pushing the air that's been rotating higher up, leaving an open space for him to fire it through. He launches it, hitting directly between these two minotaurs. Explodes violently. You see this happen directly in front of you. As soon as you get out, you're like, boom! This one here hits into the wall next to it. It's still in this space. Its back just slams into the wall. The wall sort of shimmers a bit, dust settles. It looks like it's shifting loosely, not collapsing just yet. This one, it's not moved back far enough to actually move a space, but they are both thrown quite a bit. They take their bones themselves are burnt and singed. You see some cracks forming along them. That was brutal.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't have like a resistance to fire or anything.
Nope.
Would the other monsters have heard this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is very much aware that you guys are here.
Unfortunately, fireball is not a stealthy spell.
No, it's not.
All right, let's
quiet.
start getting D6s back to their owners. Who had which ones?
I have the colorful ones, the clear ones.
And you, okay. And then which one is a Vigo dice?
The green and green.
What did you roll for your initiative?
3.
3.
I got a net one.
All right.
I guess. I mean, bonus action. Nothing that's threatening us now is left alive in the wind wall, is it?
Oh yeah, both of the soldiers near the rubble are still alive. The skeletal minotaurs are still alive.
No, I meant like in the wind wall itself.
Oh
No.
yeah, no. They're all outside of the wind wall at this point.
Damn minotaurs. Again.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna reposition the. I guess I'll just. Can I use my bonus action for that to reposition it?
Yeah, you maintain concentration on it, so.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna more create an actual wall now, I guess. I don't know.
So, just moving it into these guys' space?
No, not like just so that Rockshot is not just stuck on the outside anymore. So now there's a more.
Okay. So you're just expanding it a little bit further. Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the maximum distance he could have covered, but he moved it back initially. Okay. At the end, alright, so no movement. Okay. Rakshata.
Okay, so everything is alert now, right?
Yep.
Everything, everyone. action to crush this yellow diamond to summon an earth elemental.
Oh dear.
I'm doing it. I've been waiting.
Okay.
2 skeletal minotaurs on top of 4 undead. I think it's time to use it. I've been waiting. There you go, DM. It's crushed. It's a one-time use.
Yep.
My druidic blood-ish.
Are you gonna summon it on the inside or outside of the wall?
I'm gonna. Oh wait, what's the?
Do you get that
yeah,
choice?
I'm not sure. What
I would
the
say
choice
that
is.
if you threw it somewhere with the intention of using it as it was intended, if you threw it hard enough, you could use it that way.
Okay.
That would actually be like if you threw it at the wind wall and it fucking shot up and then just landed somewhere out there.
I'd roll
It'll be like-
percentile to see where it landed.
I mean, since I'm in the wind wall now, that's technically a projectile.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, I want to summon it. Well, it wouldn't be affected because it's an earth elemental, so it could just walk right out of the wall anyway, right?
I mean, yeah, but if you threw it initially, it would still be treated as a light projectile by the wind wall.
Well, no, it would still get hurt if it left through the wind wall. An air elemental probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
This thing definitely would. It would probably take the damage.
Okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna throw it in this general facility.
Yeah.
Earth elemental, I choose you.
Good old summoning elementals.
So you throw it down at your feet and then have it walk through. Because this
Yeah,
thing,
I'm throwing it. I'm gonna do the percentile thing. I'll
Okay.
see where it lands. I'm not sure what its movement is or whatever. I just thought the idea of percentile guys interesting to me.
I'm basically just gonna pick 10 spaces. And then, I know I said percentile, but I'll just pick 10 spaces, roll a d10, assign it based on that d10. What the fuck? Aha. Okay. I'm a mess.
Expecting that for you, DM.
I was not, but you used it. I was thinking you were going to hold on to that thing forever.
No, it's time. 2 skeletal. We got shit lipped by a skeletal minotaur last time.
Actually, that's a very good observational point. That's why I went directly to Fireball. I went right to the biggest gun, because I do not want 2 of those things chasing after us at the same time. One of them
I was
was
thinking to myself, do we want to do this and grind them into bone meal? Or do we want to get some bones for
Now,
Rattles?
does it say
Some
on
full
the
bones?
Does it say on the card what happens after the time is up on the
Gem contains a mode of elemental energy. When you use an action to break the gem, an elemental is summoned as if you had cast the conjure elemental spell.
Oh.
Gem's magic is lost. The type of gem determines the elemental summoned by the spell.
Would it be metagaming for me to explain that spell?
I mean, you can go right ahead.
Yeah, I was just asking.
I mean, we're all basically new players here, so
Alright.
besides
I
yourself.
love what you just did, and it's going to be great and really fun, but at the end of Conjure Elementals, once the concentration runs out,
Oh,
it
no,
goes
it's
rogue.
against you?
It goes rogue.
Oh no!
But it's done, I just, as a precursor.
Well, I didn't know that.
I mean,
None of the characters would know
No,
this either because
absolutely
you've
not.
never summoned an elemental before.
No.
You didn't even know, aside from the item itself, what it could do, what would happen after
Right.
all that was over.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was your action. There's over here. All right. So you throw it at the wall. It gets launched up, sort of flutters a bit, smacks the ground, just diagonally to the left of you. And as soon as the gem breaks on the ground, the earth and stone beneath where it shattered begins to shift and climb and take shape into a vaguely humanoid form. Just this massive mound of rock, stone, and stone arms and feet, headless, just sort of lumbering towards these undead. I already rolled its initiative, but you still have a bonus.
Oh, I'm stomping this one's head in, and I'm still freaking.
God.
Oh, God.
Rolled a hit. You know you have other methods.
Yeah.
I think it's principle.
Oh,
this
that
time.
one!
You
That's
have
one.
advantage.
Oh, okay. Advantage. 13. Wait, no. 16. No, that's not proficient.
You go to stomp on its head, and one of the studded edges of the helm sticks into the bottom of your foot. It doesn't hurt you, but it's really uncomfortable, and it makes you pull your leg away. All right. No movement.
I'm gonna jump on the back of this earth elemental. Can I do that?
You'd pass through the wind wall. Are you willing to take the damage from that?
Yeah, how much is the damage?
Oh, 3d8.
I can take it.
Oh.
All right. Roll damage.
It's not even half my health if it's
Well,
all
I think
sixes.
there's a saving
Or
throw
3,
involved
I mean,
of some
8.
sorts. Let me. Da-da-da-da. Strength saving throw going through against my spell
Huh.
DC.
So that's plus 5.
Roll your save.
2.
2.
Yeah, you're not going to make the save.
Nope.
No.
So 3d8.
Oh no. Oh. 8. 3. So 11. 2. So 13.
All right, so you sort of brace yourself against the wind wall as you push your way through. Just the dust and small pebbles buffeting your face as you pass through. You do manage to make it out through the other side, but that skeletal soldier is going to take a swipe at you as you move away from him,
Wait, I'm still hating.
missing you entirely.
Ha.
You are still hasted.
Yeah.
Nice call. So you do have another action.
I'm gonna use that action to. Wait, do I have to use an action to command the earth elemental?
No, I believe it acts on its own after it is summoned. Yeah.
What? I can't order it?
Well, pull up the spell.
I don't have the spell.
That wouldn't be in the Dungeon Master's Guide, now would it?
Either the DMG or the player's handbook.
What's it called? Conjure.
Conjure Elementals. I'll race you.
No, Tasha is where summoned demon jumps up.
It's an elemental servant, so that means it serves me.
For now.
Elemental challenge rating 5 or lower, appropriate to the area you chose. Appears in an unoccupied space within 10 feet of it. For example, fire emerges from a bonfire, earth elemental rises from the ground. Okay, yep. It disappears, drops to 0 hit points and spell ends. Friendly to you and your companions for the duration. It obeys verbal commands that you issue to it. No action required by you. Haha! Don't use any commands to the elemental. It defends itself from hostile creatures, but otherwise takes no actions. If your concentration is broken, the elemental doesn't disappear. Instead, you lose control of the elemental. It becomes hostile towards you and your companions, and it might attack. Uncontrolled elemental can't be dismissed by you, and it disappears 1 hour after you summoned it.
So it acts on its own. You don't command it, right?
I
Oh,
do.
you do until
okay.
the spell.
I was still looking for the spell, but it's not in the player's handbook, even though there's a freaking mile-long list of spells.
So that means you can't cast another concentration spell, like Well, smite's not concentrated.
No, it's
so.
not.
Yeah.
But I believe you won't be able to use like primal savagery or anything like
Or
that.
if you get hit, you'll have to make con saves to keep a hold of it, which, yeah.
It didn't hit her on the way out of the wind wall, so she's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna, for my second action, I guess I'm just gonna, wait,
It's got 30 walk, 30 burrow.
fucking bro, whoa.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna hop on his back, and I'm gonna tell him to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to this guy right here, and I'm gonna slash at him. I'm just
Okay.
telling him to move.
So
I'm
as
gonna
you hop on the back of this earth elemental, brandishing your axe, it begins to just trudge through the rubble, walking easily through this stone wall here, just breaking it apart. There's small bits of rubble that fall on either side afterwards. As soon as you turn the corner on its back and see this sort of bobbing, fleshy thing that you guys couldn't quite make out clearly, you see a decrepit, decaying sphere covered in eyes floating in front of
Oh
you.
my fucking.
Ball
Are
of
you
flesh.
shitting me?
Ah.
What? Is a ball of flesh? The way you were describing it made it sound like the zombie belly.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Ugh.
Fuck.
That thing.
You nasty things again!
Who asked this guy for an encore?
Oh.
Yes, now I can finally take its eyes.
Oh.
I wanted to take that other one's eyes for some reason.
I'm gonna slash it.
All right,
I'm
roll.
gonna slash some stalks off for Rattle.
Roll to hit.
And this was not great axe. Plus 5 to hit. 21.
21. That hits. Roll damage.
Yes. Okay, so
Let me get these where I can see them.
plus 6.
6 damage.
Yep, 6 damage.
All right, give me just 1 second.
Now, since Rakshata is on the Earth Elemental's back, would it count as her being behind cover?
Yes. She would benefit from half cover if something was attacking her from in front of the elemental, being on its back. If they were behind her, she would have no benefit from cover.
How many stalks do I get?
You don't cut any stalks off. Give me just 1 second. You as the elemental sort of walks you up right behind it, you bring the axe down, piercing and cutting into its flesh. It quickly whips around and just makes this horrible, gnarled screech at you. That was a terrible one. But you get the idea. Rattle knows exactly what kind of sound it makes.
Yeah.
I hear this more often than you do. You're not affecting me.
All right. That is gonna end your turn, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you think of that, guys? My turn took forever.
After Rakshata would go to Rattle.
Okay, I'm gonna cast false life on myself.
Okay. That gives like temporary hit points, I
Sure
believe.
does.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And for me, that's 1d4 plus 9.
Damn. Okay.
10.
All right. So 10 temporary hit points. you just sort of embolden yourself with the dark energy that you use to identify the undead around. It sort of ripples back into you and coats you in this force.
Alright, and then 4. Yeah, I'm going to move 1, 10, right there.
Okay.
And that'll be it for my turn.
All right. Nothing you wanted to do for your bonus? Okay. Vigo, you're up. You just saw this massive explosion erupt in front of you at the top. I'm sorry it took so long. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but you're at the crest of this hill with the cavern behind you, and these just large skeletal beasts on either side of the only entryway out of this area.
Don't forget you still have chain whip things going on.
I'm pretty strong. I can use those.
Manacles.
It's like a 4-9 beefcake. Yeah, I'm just gonna use those things to.
Okay.
Like like the helicopter, like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's your movement speed?
I think it's like 30. 25. I was close.
25. You can get right between both of them to do that. So, you roll up there. You cannot hit both of them at once.
Can I do one right after the other?
It would be an action to use those.
You still give him the old solid punch, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chain punch.
Oh yeah. Does that give me an extra action?
I don't believe so, but you would get an effect off your wild magic table
That is true, but it would take away your bonus hit.
to punch. It's a bonus to rage. You could get an effect from the wild magic table, and then you'd still have your action to hit one of them.
Okay, yeah, why not?
I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I know it's been a while since you've been at the table. I'm just trying to lay out your options.
Okay.
It's hard to remember everything, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to rage and then I'm gonna smack them.
Okay.
Open-handed.
Wild magic table is a D8, I think. Yes. So I'm going to roll a D8, and we'll see what you get. 4. Your weapon's range is boosted to 20 feet and deals force damage until rage ends. A thrown weapon reappears in your hand next round. So now you wouldn't be given a penalty if you drop the steel bars and then use the chains to whip them around. You still gonna hit?
Yes.
Roll to hit.
You got it.
Did you use this one right?
The D20.
No, cry.
That's a D12.
Oh, yeah, that's a teacher.
Yeah. Damn it.
You got lucky.
They look the same. Same. Okay, 12.
That just barely hits. Roll damage.
Yeah.
With that as a improvised weapon, I'm not really sure what steel bars typically would do, but I'm just gonna say roll a D6 and add your strength. 6. Sort of whip this steel bar straight into the side of the Minotaur's skull, pushes straight through, and then you pull it right out. The skull sort of is crumbling in the process. It's not faltering though, like it's still on its feet, but its skull is almost entirely disintegrated.
Is that a bludgeoning type of damage?
It would be.
Isn't that like doubled or something?
Yeah, I already did the double.
I was just asking. I can't
I know.
remember for the.
For skeletal enemies, they're vulnerable to bludgeoning.
But they also have a resistance to slashing, right, or something.
They do.
Like that? Yeah.
So what you're saying is I can beat it to death.
Yep.
I'm good at that. Perfect.
All right. So that was all your movement and your actions. We're going to go over to Berg. Where he's at right now. Okay, so they're outside of the wind wall. At this point, he's going to move up. And he's just going to make a double dagger attack. Advantage. Okay. One hits. Okay. All right. So that's going to be Berg's turn. Top of the round. These two soldiers here. They are they're going to hold their actions. They have laid down their arms. One of them literally sets his other arm down, which was broken and snapped off. This one is no longer buried under rubble, but this one is still partially buried under rubble. So that's going to be it for them. After that is going to be the zombie beholder. It's going to turn and look at Rakshata and the elemental, sort of gauge the amount of a threat that you are. And it's going to use Paralyzing Ray on the elemental.
I don't know the elemental.
I have the elemental stat block right here.
I do not. No. The one that me, Ivan, and Bentley fought does have the eyeball that can. No. The zombie beholder can, in fact, turn you into stone. Yes. It does.
He's trying to turn the stone.
No.
No.
I was about to
This
say.
is a different Ray. He was just asking if it had that eyeball, which is. Well, it's not the most OP eyeball. The most OP eyeball is the real beholder's eye because nothing of magic works if it's looking at it. Scary shit.
For real. As this decrepit thing turns towards you and focuses one of its stalks on the elemental, this beam of light seems to shoot from its eye into the center of the elemental, which then becomes rigid for a moment, and then just throws its arms down, and if it could yell or make a battle cry, right then it would. Just the grinding of stone becomes louder. Yeah, just like that. With its bonus, it's going to try and bite it. Yeah, that didn't work. So it goes to bite down on this elemental, breaking some of its teeth in the process.
Dumb, poor, strange animal.
Shit.
Okay. Just takes 1 point of damage from its own stupidity. And
It hurts though, but it's confusion.
that is going to end its turn after it moves. You and the elemental are both going to get an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
It's going to go 5, 10, 15 feet.
It's fleeing? Yeah. That's what I thought.
It's repositioning.
No, it's not. I'm still hasted. But, I'm
You
hasted.
can't move. You get an attack of opportunity,
Oh,
so
okay.
roll your attack. and I will
I'm
roll
gonna
for
try
your
and go at
elemental.
it with the modded axe. Oh! Get out of my face.
Damn.
Now one.
All right, so you strike out, and as the elemental's rearing back to strike at it, it just positions you a little too far away from the beholder as it's going to strike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he get it?
Yes, he does.
Yes.
Okay.
Get him! I have to give him a name.
2d8 plus 5.
It's best if you
Okay. It takes 7 points of damage.
What did he do? Tell us.
I'm getting to it.
I know.
It rears back, and as it's trying to like slowly bob away from you guys, it just punches it right in the back of the eyeball and launches it the complete distance that it was trying to travel in.
Into the wall?
It hits the wall, but it's not with enough force to do any damage, as it, can hover on its own and stop the
Impact.
Yes.
Okay. Well.
That's gonna be
Going!
that's gonna be it for the beholder. After that is Mondo.
All right. I'm gonna. So that means it's in our eye view now,
Yes,
right? We now
all of
see
you
it.
guys can now see this beholder.
I
Sorry,
go.
I'll go next.
I reach into my bag and I'm like, these fucking things again. And I'm like, pull out the wand of paralysis, aim it.
All right,
One of paralysis?
that's
Yeah.
a wisdom save.
It is a con save.
Con save. It fails its save.
Nice. All right. Yep. So.
It's paralyzed until the end of your next turn.
No,
or
I think it's a
its.
whole minute actually. Yeah, paralyzed for a whole minute.
Good
But-
God.
At the end of each of its turns, it gets to remake the saving throw.
Okay. But every attack, since it's paralyzed, is an automatic critical against it. Correct?
If I'm not mistaken, we always, I think.
I believe it's an auto crit because I know prone is advantage and surprise is advantage, but I'm positive that paralysis is auto crit. NPC party environments, random dungeons, abilities, create monster creatures, item, spell effects, diseases, and poisons, madness. I need to have like those little colorful strips to mark all of this important stuff. That would be super useful.
I can do that.
Paralysis effect 5e. This effect 5e? Really?
I'm a diss wizard. I do a little diss. A little dab.
Incapacitated, cannot move or speak, automatically fails strength and dex saving throws. Can't move or speak, fails saving throws. Attacks that hit the creature. Any attack that hits the creature is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet. So it does auto crit. But it has to be a melee attack. Okay.
And as my bonus, are they all backed into a room now? Do I just see multiple undead within one of the ruins? Like backed into a corner at this point?
Yeah, you just see a couple of normal ass skeletons around that corner where the beholder is, and you can already see the minotaur and stuff.
I'm gonna take the wind wall away from us my bonus and put it around them.
Okay, so around these guys or
No,
them?
around. I don't want to get just. Yeah, I don't want. Now that we
To-
could all see Vigo, I don't want Vigo to be trapped in there with Minotaurs. So just
Yeah.
the three over here that are now all in.
I would say to reshape it in the same area you already had it. I would let you do that as a bonus, but if you wanted to move it like from here all the way over to here and reduce its size, you would have to recast.
That's fair. Then I'm gonna drop concentration on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, just as. And I can't throw anything on a bonus, but I haven't used any of my movement either. Can I get to any of them within 30 squares?
Within 30?
I mean, not 30 squares, but 30 feet.
You'd get within 10 feet of the Minotaurs. You would get right beside the Beholder and one of the skeletons.
Also, where is Oswald?
Yeah, good point.
I don't have a marker for him, but he is cowering in fear right over here.
Put that slingshot to use, Oswald. Yeah,
And
I'll just
Mono is
forego
there.
my bonus because I don't want to.
You don't want to run up on him like that? Alright. Okay. Mondo is going to end his turn. It is going to be Minotaur 1.
Please, no.
He's right here. Yeah, he's just going to try and stab you with one of its horns. That's cocked, and you're lucky that it was cocked. What the fuck is wrong with me? Okay, 18 plus 6, so 23. I'm sure that hits.
Mine's a 15!
2d12. You take 18 points of piercing damage. And,
I'm on the verge of death.
Yeah.
18.
18. And it is, it's gonna have you make a strength save. You can choose to fail. It's trying to throw you off of its horn, but back in this direction, not back there.
Sure, I will automatically fail
Okay.
that.
So it throws you about 10 feet over here. You manage to catch yourself. You're not prone or anything, but your back is to the rest of the team. You do see, people you recognize over there. So, and it is going to use its movement to go down here. Alright, that's going to be its turn. After that is going to be the second Minotaur. This one is going to move here, then here. And that one is charging at you in a full sprint.
So what you're saying is I'm gonna get stabbed or thrown.
Oh, Gord.
If it hits.
The gore. Think about the gore.
Shut his neck nose.
12 does not hit. So it starts charging at you, and you have a good idea of what's coming, so you just sidestep ever so slightly, and it runs straight past you, stopping in place to turn, look at you. It is going to end its turn there. So after that is Rakshata.
Okay, I'm going to use like 20 of my lay on hands on myself.
Okay.
So it leaves me 10 healing points on my lay on hands. Was that a bonus action?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm gonna use my action to cast. Well,
Rakshata is just over here like, oh.
no, more like. I'm gonna command the Earth Elemental to charge at the beholder squeeze it between that wall that it's in front of and me. Or not me as a sandwich in between the two.
You're
but
gonna
I'm
be
gonna
with
on
the elemental as it's like pushing the beholder into the wall.
I
Okay.
want him to gore it. Like pin it to the wall. And then I'm gonna use my action.
All right. Yeah, it is.
Pin that ugly bastard to the wall.
And it's gonna run up and attempt to just slam its body into the beholder.
Heavy slam.
Would that also just be an auto crit?
Since it's paralyzed and within 5 feet, it is an auto crit. Thank you for reminding me. My memory is terrible. 2d8 plus 5 doubled.
This is what the beholder's about to be here.
12, 17 doubled is 30. 17 doubles, 34. Yeah, 34. Okay.
I know math.
Yeah. So. Damn, that's rough.
Thank you, paralyzing spell.
So your elemental now has this thing pinned up against the wall, just holding like 2 of its eye stalks up against one side and just pressing it like it's trying to juice it up against this fucking wall. Got another action.
Yeah.
You slashing at it?
Yeah.
It's an auto crit. Roll damage and double it.
Using my axe once again. I really like this axe. Okay. Oh wait, roll. It's auto crit, so just roll damage.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
2 ones. Okay, so that's max total of 3 damage times 2, which is 6 damage.
You don't double the modifier.
No, I know.
But okay.
No,
You rolled 2
and
ones.
then
So
plus
you
1.
would get that would be double the dice. So then it would be 4, then you add the plus 1. So grand total of 5 damage.
Yeah. Woo!
Still, I mean, you're digging this freaking spiked axe, slashing and piercing into its eyeball. It's not having a pleasant time. It also smells atrocious.
Yeah,
Your
that's
cat-like senses, you are trying to keep it together. Roll a Constitution check.
She is so prone to throwing up.
Well, no, this is more about whether or not she can concentrate on the elemental while...
Oh dear.
Wait, so saving throw you said?
No, just a check.
Oh. Okay, so 4.
You are just... As soon as you hit this putrid eyeball with your axe, the stench explodes out of it directly up into your face, and you're like... The elemental seems to sort of shift and lighten its grip on the beholder for a moment before refocusing.
Oh, I got lucky.
Okay. So, after that, it is going to... Alright, so that initiative does not matter right now. Rattle, what you want to do?
Is this,
That's rebel.
I can see above it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to move right behind here. I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt on this Minotaur right here.
Okay. Roll to hit.
What do you add to a spell?
Your spell attack modifier. Should be at the top of the list.
13.
13. Okay, that hits. Roll damage. and the next attack made on this Minotaur has advantage. Just so you know.
I don't have any of my weapons still. No, I
Not
just
at the
have
moment.
one.
You ran straight out. You're not an idiot. You made it. You made a choice.
He's a fucking clown.
I'm sure Vigo was scared for his life.
16. No, he's a coward.
Radiant damage.
16 radiant. I'm
Please
not
kill it.
sure
Please.
if they are.
I can't believe these two are still alive.
They've
You're
kind of
holding
half
on by a
surrendered at this
thread.
point, right? I think is what you said earlier.
They've basically surrendered. One literally laid down his severed arm.
Bird will finish him off.
Yeah.
Ain't no rest for the wicked. I can't tell if they're susceptible to radiant, so it's just gonna take the full 16.
Yeah, they're fiend. Radiant damage.
They're
They're not a
undead.
fiend.
Oh. What? Undeads aren't fiends?
No.
No, they're undead.
What?
They get their own classification.
Okay. Anything with your bonus?
And then for my bonus, I'm going to cast Healing Word at the 2nd level on Vigo.
Nice.
That's 2d4.
I'm no longer on the verge of death.
3, 5, 9.
9 points of healing. Nice. All right, Vigo, you're up. Unless you wanted to move anymore.
I turn into a helicopter again.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. In range
That's
mode?
that's all I can do. Yeah.
Well, now wait. What about the throwing weapon?
Yeah, you can throw them, but since they're already attached, they'd return to her anyway because she's still bound by the manacles.
Oh, I thought. Oh, okay. I thought it was like a spectral throwing weapon came to you next round. I thought
Oh
it was-
no!
okay, I was confused.
Your actual weapon is what returns to you. So like, say you had your axe like you typically would, you'd be able to just like fling your axe, hit something at 20 feet, and then that next round it would just appear back to you, even if you didn't go and pick it up. But yeah, so you're just gonna helicopter hit these things. Roll to hit.
With advantage. Because
Oh,
it's-
guiding
Yeah.
bolt. Guiding bolt. That's right. Your choice. Do you want to chase after the one that ran the opposite direction, or go after the one in front? Okay. Are you moving directly beside it? What are you doing?
We both reached for Vigo's character to turn him around.
11.
No, that's a D12 again.
Oh god damn it.
I need to get you some bright colored dye.
5.
With
5.
advantage so you get one
Oh
more.
yay. 7.
Yeah. So you're still getting used to using ranged weapons. You're used to just like holding things down and like
Punching.
beating them until they're unconscious and then carrying them back to the bounty post. So, yeah, you whip the chain steel bar out and it just goes straight through the rib cage, not making connection with any of the ribs. You still have a bonus.
I summon my exploding sprite.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's...
You have to roll that.
Yeah,
And,
that's an effect of the wild magic table. That's only something that can happen at the start of when you rage. Each time you rage, it has a possibility of happening, but each one of these effects is dependent on what you roll, and it's active for the duration of rage. You can punch things.
Punch it.
All right. Run up to it and slug it in the face. Roll to hit with advantage.
18.
Nice, that hits. Roll damage.
For the punch.
No, that's your punch would be a D4
No one tells me these
plus your
things.
strength.
6.
6. Double to 12. Okay. So after the guiding bolt hits this thing in the back and it's sort of shoved towards you just a little bit and you feel empowered from the magic Rattle used to heal you, you swing and miss with the steel bar and you're just like, screw these things. Run up to it, boom, straighten its jaw, breaks the jaw off, cracks the eye socket a bit, and it staggers back, just barely maintaining its form. Anything with your movement? Alright. That is going to make it Berg's turn. He is just going to try and stab both of these undead. Manages to do so. Alright. Doing 5 and 6 damage to them respectively. Alright. After Berg would go back to those guys, they're done even being stabbed at this point. They're just going to keep trying to get away out of the ruins, getting attacks of opportunity.
They're like.
Berg's still like on their backs, riding them like a dog sled. Just I'd say, since he already has advantage and they're going to just keep trying to get away over the course of the rest of combat, he just is going to stab them until they stop moving.
Okay.
That would take a while, so I'm going to say they get about here.
That's where he's safest.
With Berg.
What are these guys? We don't even know what these are yet.
They're just, well, I mean, you see them, and Mondo has seen them as well. They're just basic-ass skeletons.
Okay, I didn't know if they were like another pair of other zombie.
It was a family.
Oh no, 2 babies.
2 baby minotaur skeletons. Oh boy. Alright, it is going to be the zombie beholder's turn, but it is paralyzed. So, it is just going to repeat its save. What was the DC on that? 15. It fails. That's going to end the beholder's turn. After that, it goes to Mondo.
Nice. I'm going to use my last 3rd level. I believe it's my last 3rd level spell. Mondo's Mentimeters. And as a bonus action, I'm going to send 2 of them flying at that skeleton over there so it also hits anything within 5 feet of it. So it will hit its buddy behind it and the zombie beholder in front of it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to send 2 flying that way.
Okie doke. Roll to hit.
It's Dex checks.
Oh, Dex. That is a natural 1 and a 9.
And the zombie beholder doesn't even make the save, does he? Or, I mean...
He wouldn't make the save. I was just rolling for the skeletons. I only rolled twice. But also, go ahead and roll damage because the structure itself right there is also within 5 feet of the impact.
3, 10. Ooh, 16. So that's 19 plus 1, 20 damage.
20 damage. These 2 skeletons, as soon as the meteor impacts the first one and explodes, its body just gets obliterated. The bones fly all over the place, hitting different edges of the wall. This one also just smacks into the wall and cracks into a bunch of pieces and bone fragments. The beholder is hit not only by the bone fragments and everything that was, impacting it, but the actual explosion itself. And it looks like it's in a pretty bad way right now. This structure collapses, so all of this just turns into rubble. The wall that the beholder was being pressed up against by your elemental is no longer there, so it just sort of pushes him forward onto the rubble a bit. Bonus?
That was my bonus.
Oh, that was your bonus to throw it.
And I guess for movement, I'll kind of move myself in just diagonal to right where right there.
Okay. Okay. After that is going to be this Minotaur in front of Vigo. So pissed that he just got slugged and it almost took him down. He is going to run straight at you. It doesn't. It charges at you again. You do a sidestep in the opposite direction this time. It compensated for the sidestep last time and goes way wide. Runs straight past. Getting an attack of opportunity as it cannot stop itself, so roll to hit. Are you punching it or trying to hit it with this steel bar?
I'm gonna hit it with the steel bar.
Okay, roll to hit.
16.
16, that hits. Roll damage. Just d6.
No one tells me these things. 4.
That would get boosted to 8. As it runs past, you just hit it in the shin with this steel bar, and its shin just snaps into sort of hobbling away from you with the rest of the momentum as it was running past. That is going to be its turn.
Can these things talk?
No.
I don't even think they could talk to each other.
Mm-mm. After that is going to be the other one. He's going to continue into the cavern you came out of.
Joy.
What a snitch.
So Rakshata.
Okay, I'm gonna tell the Earth Elemental to stomp on this beholder.
Can't really do that because it's not on the ground. It's pushed up against the rubble ever so slightly, but it's not on the ground.
Well, then I'm gonna tell him to punch it.
Okay. Going to attempt to slam into it with its arm.
I hate to sound like a parrot, but wouldn't it be a critical?
God, I keep forgetting it's paralyzed. Sorry, this is the most monsters I've had to control at once, and it shows.
I got your back, bro.
Thanks, man. But yeah, it auto crits. So that
I think I would have died by now.
D8.
Honestly.
If anything, his ego is definitely crushed. There's no doubt about that.
All right. Yeah, so getting hit by this elemental again, its eye, what's left of it, is bleeding. The stalks are sort of like, they go up and then are sort of broken at a point, and the eyeballs just sort of limply hanging off. It's attempting to move, but all it can really manage to do right now is bleed and shudder in place. Yeah.
I'm gonna swing at it.
All right, auto crit, roll damage.
Oh, okay. Exact opposite of last time. It's 2 6s. 12, 13. Wait, so that's double. 24.
Oh, you want to ice this fool?
I want to slash it in its big fat eye, like stab it, and then like lift it up and throw it on the ground. Like
Not a
I want to
mercy
lift it up.
killing.
No, it's a freaking zombie beholder. These things are evil in Shot's eyes. Pure evil.
It's a lie.
Hey,
at
they're
one
evil in
point.
everybody's eyes. They're
Yeah.
Even in
Especially
their
ours.
own.
yeah.
So I wanna try to keep the eye stalks intact with Rattle, but I wanna like just pierce into the eye and brain.
So you take your spiked, sharpened axe, bring it down into the expectant open eye of the beholder, stabs directly into the pupil and the iris of the actual eye itself, and then as the elemental is keeping its arm up against the body of this beholder, you just sort of pull back on the axe upward and pluck the eye directly out of the body of this thing. You've got an enormous pierced eye of the beholder up, still rotten and smelling absolutely terrible. And you just sort of swing the axe down, and the eye hits the ground with this gross plop sound. All of the stalks go limp, and there's just like this empty husk of a body.
Okay, cool.
This is your second to last turn of haste.
Yes.
So
can I? I'm only hasted, not the elemental, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. 'Cause I can't exactly put his boots on there. My boots on the elemental. I'm gonna hop off of the elemental, retching, and then I'm gonna. New enemy has arrived.
This is the final boss.
mere
How
mortals.
far can I go with that? I can't remember. Like the total distance.
With the elemental itself,
No. With my boots of haste.
it's double your normal movement speed.
Hey, bud.
I'm gonna chase after this one.
It would have taken half of your movement to get off of the elemental.
Okay, so it'll just be 30 then. I'd still be able to make it. I want to try and get to this guy.
Okay, you'd be able to make that.
Well, you'd rather have 45 because it takes away half your regular movement, and you'd still have the doubled movement. So
From haste, so yeah, it'd be 45.
Okay, so I'm gonna make it.
Either way, she gets there.
yeah.
And then as a bonus action, right? Since I used the boots, and then I had my action to slice down.
Yeah, you still have an extra action.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Not your bonus because you used. Wait, I'm all mixed up here. You used an action to hit it with your axe and command the elemental, so you
Yes.
don't have any more actions.
No, I just have a bonus.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try and punch it.
All right, roll to hit.
Punch it. Strikes plus 4 to hit. So.
Mm-hmm.
14.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh shit.
Roll damage.
Okay. What's the D4 plus?
Your strength.
Okay. Yeah, 6 damage.
6. Okie doke.
Ugh.
Yeah,
It's
you.
like the freaking Minotaurs either. All these undead is just disgusting.
You punch this minotaur in its spine so hard that its vertebrae crack and shatter, and it just falls into the lower half unmoving on the ground, but the upper just sort of like clawing into the ground, trying to lift itself up, and then collapsing back down and trying again. That's going to be Rakshata's turn. Rattle.
Finger, can I get your help?
40 or 49.
Okay.
So I'm not on the verge of death.
Let's see.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a dex save, so I'd say as long as you can see the creature, you can manifest the flame right there. If it were like a ranged spell attack that you have to make an attack roll for, you'd be rolling at disadvantage.
Okay. Oh goodness. No, this is a dex save.
Yep. At disadvantage because it's only half of a minotaur. Yeah, it's a 6. I assume that does not make it safe.
Mm-mm.
You don't even have to roll damage. How do you want to ice this fool?
Yeah,
Or
right.
burn this fool?
I want to send the sacred flame into this skeleton minotaur's mouth.
Okay.
And then when it does its damage, you can like see the light
Yeah.
come out of its eyes.
Okay. So it's like its jaw is hanging open from where it is on the ground, and this tiny. What color would you make the fire? Black. Amaterasu.
No, probably like a teal.
A teal. So this tiny blue will-o-wisp sort of appears just under the top jaw of this minotaur, and then it begins to grow and grow until the sort of blue light is coming out of its eye sockets and the lower jaw and mouth, and then just blue fire erupts out of the eye sockets and mouth of this minotaur as its arms begin to thrash and flail, and you can see the black charring of the actual bone itself before it just stops for a second and then collapses into different pieces of bone. As it's laying there, the fire continues to burn. All right, so right now you guys are rid of everything in your immediate path.
Yeah.
Wait, so the other Minotaur's out of our sight now? He's
Yeah.
traveled
Yeah.
far enough down the tunnel for us not to see him. Okay.
Woo! Alright.
I'm-
Rattle, that was so cool.
Can I listen?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm going to keep focus on my meteors and just listen.
Okay.
Just to make sure.
Roll perception checks, auditory-based perceptions.
Vico's the only one
But
that
Rattle
knows
goes.
about the huge fucking lumbering creature that's...
Let's not.
That was awesome.
Let's just run away.
8.
Ooh, natural 20.
Natural 20.
Ooh, that's a big fight. Well, 10.
Rattle, you know, having a keen sense for the sound of bone, you hear what sounds to be a low echoing of bone meeting stone as the feet of this minotaur are just clopping every once in a while on the smooth stone ground inside this cavern.
Do you hear anything? Do you do anything, Mondo? I don't really hear
No.
anything. I'm still. Whew, did he?
He did.
It's so bad. It's the zombie beholder spell.
Fucking reckless attack.
Lord. Oh god. Okay, so I have to take this. Vigo! I see you! Man, you look totally different without your fancy robes.
Oh, fuck you. I'm still a prince. I will have you thrown in jail.
But, says the one in shackles. Let's get down here. Let's go chase that thing. I remember there being one more.
Berg's making his way back.
Oswald, get your ass over here.
You fuck. You're cowering in fear.
What do you mean? I was helping little man.
Okay.
No, Berg's
No,
gonna
you
kick him in the
understand.
ass.
Yeah.
Oh god. Well, I gesture at Rattle, and I gesture towards the zombie beholder. And I'm like, you got, I promised you, the ice dogs I promised you, they're smelly, but, have at it as my friend.
Yeah, Rattle's going to excitedly go to this disgusting beholder corpse.
Alright.
Yes,
And-
over to it.
Use one of his
Sides.
mini sights.
Yeah.
And get one of these eyes.
Alright, roll survival.
You have it. I'm just like, my thumbs up.
8.
8, you bring up the side, swing it down, sort of gets caught on a tougher part of the eye stalk and sort of rips it a bit, cutting off part of the eye in the process. But you get 1 damaged eye stalk and 1 regular eye stalk. I mean, they're both technically damaged, as in they're rotting,
Yeah.
but
Yuck. I want to go look on the Minotaur's body and see if the horns are blackened, because my friend Rattles said he wanted some horns.
They did get fucking fireball.
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure.
Are you taking the entire skull itself, or are you just gonna try and get the horns?
I want to try and get the horns. I mean,
Okay.
it's already just. It would probably be pretty frail. and
We
then-
fucked up the last time we tried to do this.
All
Is it
right.
performance?
Make a strength.
Strength? Oh, fuck. Yeah, that makes sense. +2. Ugh! 4.
4. With the char on the bone itself, walking up to it, you knew you were going to have to be fairly delicate with this to get the horns themselves and not break the horn in the process. And you do manage to push for a while. It takes you way longer than you wanted it to, but eventually the skull around the horns cracks and breaks off. You have more of the skull than you wanted on the horn, but you do have the
Horns?
horn.
Oh. Okay. Well, I don't know if you drive by you, man.
Mondo, what are you doing?
I don't know. Checking out everybody else's vibe. I secretly want to follow that thing. But
Okay.
I don't know. Fuck it. I'll hover 5 feet off the ground and I'll fly after it.
Bro,
Fuck it.
All right, so
just said we should run away.
And we
Come on,
still
Nose.
You
can.
gotta get your stuff, man. And we also
Now can I see
I'm
it?
a prince. I'll
No,
get
you
more
cannot.
stuff.
Okay.
I know where it's at off the map. You would be able to see it if it were that far away, but it's in a network of caverns right now. You can still hear the footfalls, though, now being this close to the cavern entrance.
Okay. I'll go in until I can either see it or I no longer have any natural light that touches me.
Okay. So you walk for about 35 feet. You are now within the entire encompassed area of the cavern. The natural light coming in is hitting the wall that you had just walked past. You see a couple of doors. There are crates stacked sort of haphazardly along the path. You can see that it extends quite a bit further past this point.
Still nothing that's alive within my view.
Or undead.
Okay. I only have a whole minute on these meteors, so I'm gonna keep it pushing.
I'm gonna.
Alright.
Okay, I mean, I see that
Or no, they
Mondo's
left 5
going.
minutes, but still.
in there. I saw him fly in there, so I'm gonna follow him.
All right. You stow the horn and
Yep.
continue after.
I'm gonna shout at Rattle. I'm gonna follow Mondo. While you're harvesting your eyeballs.
Oswald pipes up, guys, I really think we should just, check out this area. Do we have to go any further? I think we did what we came here to do.
You didn't do shit.
Right. See you soon.
Look for your mining stuff. I need to go after my friend. If you know what those are. Never mind.
Ooh,
No.
shit.
Ooh,
Poor Oswald.
Rip.
that was fucked.
Yeah.
Are you checking out bodies of anything? Are you trying to loot anything? Or are you gonna follow them?
I'm going to look for my clothes.
Okay. So you sort of double back and turn around, expecting that they probably stashed your stuff in a room within that cavern, but you didn't want to fuck with whatever broke into your cell, so you ran out in a huff. But you walk back into the cavern with Rakshata and Mondo. Mondo's a fair bit ahead of you two. He's a good 25, 30 feet ahead of you guys. Roll perceptions. Are you going in after him, or are you still looting?
No. Before I go, I'd like to specifically look around in this area.
In that area? Alright, so you take your time while they're going in through there. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get everything.
Oh, that's okay. I just retroactively forgot to say that I wanted to tell the Earth Elemental to stand down and stay with Oswald.
Okay.
If it will.
Yeah. I mean, he stays right with Oswald.
Yeah.
Oswald's up here, sort of digging around some of this rubble.
I got
The elemental is just standing directly behind him. As soon as he turns around, he's like,
Smash his head like this. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that happened. Sorry.
Alright. So, Berg is going to help Rattle look around in there. Make an investigation check.
With the bed, with the bird?
Yeah.
Okay.
12. You're looking around. You do see some of the smaller crates that were being hauled into the cavern before that don't seem like they were set there on purpose. Some of those undead were probably moving that cargo as you guys made your way in. You can break them open and see what's inside. I assume since you were going to do that already, you crack open one of these crates, and there's just various different types of minerals, some precious gems, though uncut, and as parts of ore. You find 3 pieces of fine gold ore,
Bro.
6 pieces of silver ore, 2 amethyst.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to.
No, I was making fun of myself.
Oh, I did it again.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm not writing down notes.
And 1 iron chunk.
I'm gonna.
How?
In that corner?
In a crate that was in that corner.
I would like to take the 2 amethysts.
The 2 amethysts, that's all you're taking out of there?
Mhm.
Okay.
If Berg wants the rest, he can have it.
Berg's probably going to take the gold ore. Yeah, he does that.
This is a pillow now.
He's a sweet cat. All right. How are you guys feeling?
I gotta go home.
Yeah, I know you do. So we could stop here so I can take her home, or unless you want to do me a favor.
I'm not driving.
Yeah, I
You
figured.
said you would.
Okay. We're gonna take a short break, and we will be back after this. Short.
Reprieve.
Yep.
It was great getting the Vigo back.